It's time now to discuss how we modify objects we have on a page in a publication. In some previous lessons, we added our own objects, our own text box, our own lines, arrows, and auto shapes. Well, objects can also be what's already there from a previous template, and the way we make modifications to those objects is the same regardless. So let's open up a publication that's been started for you. We'll go up to the File menu, click Open, and navigate to the Lesson 6 folder now of your exercise files to select Sign 6A. Give that a click and then Open. And you can see this is from a previous lesson where we started a garage sale and we started to draw our own map. I've got a couple extra things in here as well. So what we're going to look at first is line and fill colors. Now we do have some lines here on our page. We've got a straight line and a curved line, and we've got an object that we've created freehand here as well. So let's start with line color. Now the line color that you see for any of these objects is black, including this little auto shape here, including our lake or pond. You can see our roads as well are black. So I'm going to click right here on the curved line, and I'm going to go up to the formatting toolbar. I want you to see a couple of buttons. We have a fill button, looks like a paint bucket spilling over, and then we've got a line color button as well. So when we click the drop down next to the little paintbrush icon we see here on the line color button, we see a list of previously used colors or colors that are part of the color scheme used in this particular template. So here's the colors that are used in the color scheme, and here are some colors that have been used in other publications. But if we don't see the color we're looking for here, we can go to More Outline Colors. And when we click on that, you can see we've got three tabs: Standard, Custom, and Pantone. If I wanted to, for example, use maybe a dark blue color or a dark purple, I can select right from this grid on the Standard tab. And you can see the new color that's going to replace the current color down here. Another option is to go to the Custom tab here, where I've got even more colors to choose from using different color models. The current model is RGB, red, green, blue. If I click the drop down, I've also got hue, saturation, lightness, and CMYK, and I'm going to leave it at RGB. So if I wanted a specific color, I can type in the values here for red, green, and blue, or I can simply come down here on the slider, move this up and down, select the color I want from the grid, and you can see the new color showing up down here and the values assigned to that color. The other thing I can do is set a transparency so I can see through this color if I wanted to as well. Zero transparency means it's fully opaque. Of course, if I went all the way up to 100%, it would be invisible, or 100% transparent. So I'm going to leave it down at 0 for this particular task. So I'm going to click OK. And you can see it barely here because it's a thin line, but it has changed color. I'm going to do the same for this line. Now, I don't have to go through that whole routine. You'll notice up here that my line color button has the new color showing up there, so all I have to do is click the button once to change this line to that color as well. All right. So that covers the line colors. What about fill? Now, we do have a freeform object here that needs to be filled, so I'm going to just click on it. You know it's selected because the handles appear. And I'm going to go up this time to my fill button. Now currently the fill color is set to yellow. That's not what I'm looking for my pond or my lake. So I'm going to click the drop down. And just like we saw for the line color, we've got our color scheme and some recently used colors, including our new one here, which is, as I hover over it, you can see the RGB values. I can choose more fill colors here, and when I do that, I get the same dialog box for colors. So maybe I want to fill it with this nice colored blue right here. I give it a click and click OK, and now it's looking more like a lake. But I want to take it a step further. When I click the drop down here next to my fill color button, I want you to see that there's also fill effects. So when I click on that, I've got gradient, texture, pattern, picture, and tint. You can see gradient is the default selection when I launch the fill effects dialog box. So right now I don't have a gradient. You can see the colors are not 1, 2, or preset. None of them are selected. I'm just using a solid blue. But when I go to something like 2 colors, for example, you can see I get to choose the colors I want, and then I can choose the shading style. So if I was to use a light blue and a dark blue, for example, you can see how I get an effect here. And if I wanted it to go from a corner or diagonally, you can see I get some variance here. And then I would select the one that I want and then click OK. So you can see it gives a kind of a neat effect to my lake here. Another option though that I want to show you, let's go back to that drop down next to our fill. Under Fill Effects is Texture. Now texture is not going to apply to a lake here because you can see we've got some actual textures like wood and cloth. We've got some marbles and granites and stuff in there as well. So keep that in mind. Depending on the shape or the object that you've drawn, you may want to use some of these textures. Pattern is going to work nicely for us if we choose a couple of colors, a foreground and a background color. And I'm going to choose this one right here, which is kind of a squiggly line. Looks like it could be water. I'm going to choose a lighter blue for my foreground. So again, I'll go to More Colors and just choose a light blue here. Click OK. I see a sample of what that's going to look like. I like it. I click OK. Look at that. That's looking a little bit like water as well. So keep that in mind. When we fill, it's not just simply a solid color. We can use gradients and textures and patterns as well. Alright, I'm going to deselect by clicking outside the selected area. And we're well on our way now to creating a decent looking map. I'm going to click on this object here, which is an auto shape. And that's the one I'd like to fill with yellow. I want that to stand out. That's the address there. So I'm going to click my fill color. I don't have a yellow. I go to More Fill Colors. There's yellow right there. I click OK. And now I've got my starburst. Alright, so next we need to look at how we modify our actual line, so our style and width of our line.